Well, I'm happy to say that Joanna did make it back safely after all. So now we all know how great we feel after a good night's sleep, but why is sleep so important to our health? And joining us now to talk about this is Professor Adrian Williams, and he's going to be telling us about the connection between the lack of sleep and being overweight. Aren't you, Professor?
There's actually a very clear relationship. And the best way of explaining it would be to describe what happens when people are forced to have less sleep than is normal, for example 4 or 6 hours a night. And in that situation, those people will end up with increased appetite. And it's actually thinking to what your other presenters were saying, that actually it's more fat and carbohydrate that people prefer to eat if they've not slept enough. And the science behind it is that there are two hormones which are related to our appetite. One suppresses appetite, it's called leptin, it's generated by our fat cells, and the other is something called ghrelin, which stimulates appetite, and that's produced by the stomach. And in a sleep-deprived situation, they go in the opposite direction, so that leptin levels go down and therefore appetite increases, and ghrelin levels go up, so appetite increases. And so there is a drive to eat. Perhaps that makes sense if someone hasn't been asleep and they need more energy, but nevertheless there is an increased appetite with lack of sleep. That's the sort of the experimental situation, but you can extend that to examples we were hearing tonight of stress, which would reduce or make sleep less efficient, or other things that might happen at night that disturb sleep. That leads to an increase in appetite that's almost inescapable. Even though people may deny it, they do eat more.
How much sleep should a person be getting then, on average?